Does that stay in?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I'm not having good luck with my camera recently.
Yeah.
Getting the shots though, that's important. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about sport specificity and how sport specificity isn't the idea, but transfer is what we really want. We want the stuff we do not on the court or field or track or whatever it is our sport is. We want the stuff we do in the gym to transfer. So it doesn't have to be specific. It just has to...
it has to be human specific. It has to be specific to that person and what they need.
Their problems and their injuries and stuff like that.
It's not just a formula of, you play soccer, the cookie cutter
Do
program.
the soccer program, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about variety.
So,
One of those, this is probably a top 10 drives me insane things.
yeah. So there's an obsession with variety that I think is partly to blame on like The Biggest Loser. It's to blame on personal trainers that just want to... There's a phrase, entertainment.
Or I've heard exertainment. Entertainment. Yeah, same idea though, yeah.
Yeah. Fundamentally that is, you must keep it varied to keep your people interested and excited, therefore they'll keep coming back. And it's not, and the job of the personal trainer isn't to fix biomechanical problems, it is just to get people moving. And if you get them moving, you're winning over what they're normally.
Which is great.
Getting people moving is valid.
Going from no moving to moving is the biggest change you can make.
Yeah, huge. But I think there's a better way. And so I think that kind of filters into people's attitude about the gym. Like, you've got to shock the muscles, you've got to surprise them, you've got to do this. Do you hate shock the muscles?
Shock the muscles. Muscles don't have brains. They don't think. They're not cognitive beings. They respond to the nervous system and to mechanical tension. That's it. Anyway, yeah. So
Keep your composure.
shocking the muscles.
So, and I think there's a continuum. So if there's enter trainer right down here, we are way down here. We are very much, you're here to get better. If you want entertainment, go to the movies. Like, this is the place you go to become a better athlete, stronger, faster, better.
Another thing that has fueled this end of the spectrum is CrossFit. The ability to do all the random things at high intensity all the time, and they might go together.
Yeah.
Sounds sexy.
Casserole laced with cyanide.
The cyanide casserole of training.
No, I've just finished watching the Rich Froning documentary. Rich Froning's the Michael Jordan of CrossFit. He's amazing, just a beast. And it's really worth watching. Maybe we should link to. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I'll link it below or above.
It's worth watching that. And if you have further interest, there's a day in the life of Rich Froning on YouTube.
And also above or below.
And what's fascinating is that's good.
Sorry.
What's fascinating to me is that the CrossFit mantra is constantly varied functional exercises at high intensity. That is actually the mantra. Good job, movie. Like, they drew that into me.
Yeah.
Indoctrinated. And Rich Froning is the best ever. It's the Michael Jordan of it. But when you watch the day in the life of Rich Froning, he trains with microcycle periodization that we would be proud of. Like, I watched the day, and it's like he breaks everything out. So he's doing his power stuff here, he's doing his cardio stuff there. He does
his running stuff here, does his heavy stuff here.
Exactly, and he's in a very, very technical lifter. Like, he's technically just beautiful. Like, when he's exhausted versus when he's fresh, it looks just the same. So he actually lifts how we would, like, if I was coaching, not that I would coach him, but he lifts really scientifically. And then he demonstrates those characteristics that he created. He exhibits them in competition. So it's interesting. So the ultimate pin-up boy for CrossFit.
CrossFit's Michael Jordan.
Does not use CrossFit
to methods. Yeah.
He actually uses scientific, and he works as an S&C coach part-time, or he used to in a college.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. But the problem is people see the superficial, like, vary, do this, and it's like, well, you're actually constantly, from a sports point of view, you're constantly moving the goalposts. You're constantly shifting things up, and one angle is, well, that means you can be ready for anything.
The other angle is you've never adapted to anything.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly like, that sauna stuff you do, and you, like, for example, I've just started doing RDLs again.
Yep.
And so the first day was like, holy hell, couldn't touch my toes, my hammies were so tight and sore. But now I'm 5 weeks in, I'm up to 60, 70 kilos. I'm fine, I'm adapting. And so each week I'm adding more weight to the bar, getting better at that exercise. But that soreness is gone because my body's now leveled back out. if I went from RDLs and then went to Nordics and then went to Arabesques and then kept changing it all the time, you're never actually going to get a smooth upward progression through that exercise.
And it's sort of like, I think good training is a bit like farming. You can't cram good training. You know, like in business, you can put in a 90-hour, 100-hour week, or at uni, you can cram, you can catch up on, maybe you didn't pay the price through a semester, but you can catch it up on the end. You won't do as well as you've done if you paid the price.
But you can still get reasonable marks by cramming in that swap packet.
But it's not like you can just cram your watering on the farm into the last week, or...
Oh crap, forgot to plant the seeds. Let's go track them down.
Yeah, and so I think that idea that consistently working towards a goal and that repetition is, repetition's the foundation for mastery. And so it's actually...
Repetition is the mother of implementation, I think is the quote. I think so.
I think that's... Okay, I don't know.
Something along those lines. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll look at that. And I think we are way down here because we're like, you'll do what we say because this is the right thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got entertainers right down here. Probably as
we're better at this
evolving, I think we're getting better at mixing a tiny bit of spice in and mixing up just enough that the athlete feels that because there's physiological and there's psychological, and so you do want to meet them a little bit halfway.
And maybe 80% of the way.
Yeah, and so there's still, so you might be doing push-ups versus clap push-ups
versus loaded push-ups,
and then versus dumbbell bench. Like it's all horizontal push.
Yeah.
But I think people's obsession with constantly varying it is really problematic because they're so confused, they're not actually noticing whether they're making progress or not. And it also comes from a place of insecurity from trainers sometimes. One of my favourite examples was a trainer who the customer asked for a program, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to give you a program." And they're like, "What?" It's like, "No, I don't do that. You just come here and I'll make it up. We make it up every time. It's different every time." And what it was he was concerned that if he gave the program, it's like they go, "Ha ha, sucker!
Secret sauce.
I don't need you anymore."
Yeah.
And it's that's not training. So you do, and it's starting to. I guess the reason I'm interested in talking about it is it is starting to filter into athletic development, where personal trainers. There's the athletification of fitness, where it's very sexy and exciting to get into this field, and personal trainers and CrossFitters are now calling themselves strength and conditioning coaches and throwing the casseroles at people. And it looks exciting. You're pouring with sweat and you're in a lot of pain. So you go
each workout leaves you limping the next day.
And so I got smashed. I can't feel my legs. That's great training.
There is some getting smashed might make you better, but it's not the only way to make you better. I think tracking numbers on a few rockstar exercises is really the key. And so, smooth segue into Dan John's theory of the A, B, and C work exercises. A-class exercises are those ones that are just, you have to do them. They're just absolute gold. Bang for buck is enormous.
Yeah.
Things like core lifts, I think push-ups fit into that category, chin-ups, things that you just...
Inverted rows.
Things that you should just be doing for human function and quality. And then there's B grade, things that are pretty good.
Pretty good, not going to hurt you much.
Yeah, but you can mix them in and out, like, planks and dead bugs, you can swap them up, standing calves, seated calves, doesn't really matter. Reverse fly, bicep, tricep, things that are good, they're going to help, but aren't like the meat and potatoes.
They're good, and they've got low risk, and pretty good benefit. Not amazing bang for buck, just solid. They're still a good investment of your time and allocation of your time. Yeah.
And then C grades that are just actively dangerous.
Yeah.
Things like upright rows, we're just jamming that supraspinatus up under that AC joint.
Upright rows, heavy bent spine, loaded activities. Deep. I saw one of our athletes in the college program doing on a heel wedge like that big, doing
their foot that way.
Yeah, foot that way. Doing arse to grass squats, like just maximally loading up the quad and the patellofemoral joint. That's a
lot
C
of
minus.
risk. Yeah,
a lot of risk. There's risk in the exercise you're doing, within the exercise, and then there's risk in the problematic quad dominant patterns you're promoting. So it's like you've doubled down on your risk.
Yeah.
So that maybe should be
that's maybe the
D grade
or an E grade. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the problem is that there's only so many A grade things. There's probably about 10, give or take. And there's quite a few B. There's probably 40 B.
And I think when it comes to programming, there's something we consider is the A's have got to stay.
Yeah.
You've got to keep those things, depending on your sport, depending on your problems.
They're your big rocks. They've got to be in there.
Keep your big rocks. And then you cycle your B's. That's where you get your variety.
Yeah.
Chuck in a little bit of new agility stuff. You do a different running drill every now and again. You do a bit of this, you do a bit of that. The B goes where you cycle, and then you just never touch the C's.
No, it doesn't ever.
Just leave them there.
Well, unless... I mean, we've occasionally touched things that we would call B minuses, where we know they're going to be made to do them in college.
Yeah, as a inoculating prep type effect.
Yeah. Which is pragmatic. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to do that. So the takeaway, I think, is that you don't... The thirst for variety is much less when you're getting amazing results too. If you're smashing it and all
Jumping
your
through
numbers,
the roofs, never run as fast as you are, ripped and jacked, feeling great.
and you're not sitting around going, oh, can't we? You're like, oh, this is going great. Why would we change this very much? Let's tinker, but we're clearly on the right path. And even in your own training, like your training's pretty consistent. Like you've got these key things you want to do.
2 runs, 2 lifts every week,
Yeah.
in the same stuff.
I want to run twice a week, bike twice a week, lift twice a week. At the moment, I'm getting 2 bikes, 2 runs, 1 lift, so I'm letting myself down a little. But you know, there's still variety. It's not like you're going out and going, oh, I'm going to run 7 days in a row.
Yeah.
It's a variety of doing different things, which is important because I think
You want to get variety over your week and over months, not over days.
And I think people crave the variety of cycling into the C grade exercises when there's a level of monotony about what they're doing because it's like, I'm just lifting. Because a lot of people that are into lifting just really shy away from cardio. It's like, well, if you're lifting a couple of times a week, you're doing impact cardio a couple of times a week and you're doing deloaded, bike or cross run a couple of times a week.
Or playing some sport is a great way to mix it up.
The craving for variety is going to be lower anyway because the monotony isn't as high.
Yeah, because sprint day is way different to leg day,
Yeah.
or whatever it's
Yeah.
going to be. Yeah.
I think that was good. Takeaway, repetition is a big deal. It's how you get good at most things in sport.
We want our graphs to go like this, not constantly changing and mixing it. Because if you're constantly changing your exercise, you can't continue progressing the load because you have to keep going back to 0 to start again.
Yeah, and it's, this is always the thing when you say something like this. People go, oh, you're saying you should do all the same exercise all the time. No, we're just saying that ease up on the variety, get the minimal effective dose of variety. Enough variety that there's no monotony, but not a gram more.
Not so much that you're inhibiting or blocking your ability to progress.
Yeah.